prepare the ship. The energy masts must be moved into place.
Well, this is different.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a while. Hope you are doing well. Welcome back to another game review. So today we're going to be talking about Subnautica Below Zero, the sequel, the not prequel. Yeah, here we go. I actually had this game in my library for 2 years. Ever since they announced it, I bought it. I played the early access. I played two different early access stories. If you did play the early access, you would know what I'm talking about. But I'm not going to focus on that. I'm just going to talk about the real thing. But before we do get into the story, I'll leave that for the last part, the most lengthy part of this review. Let's talk about everything else other than the story. First up, how is it different from the first game? It's probably one of the many important aspects when you're making a sequel. How can you make it different? Well, the answer is you don't, because there's nothing different between this game and the first. There is no difference. You use the same materials, same transportation, same everything, basically. However, there is no Cyclops. Isn't that annoying? It's and very sad. I actually really enjoyed the Cyclops. I found it very claustrophobic when it was damaged. It would, water would come in. It felt like a real submarine. It felt really claustrophobic and really fun. The locations are different as well. There's not as many crash sites. Can I say, is it crash sites? There's not as many places to explore. It's mainly just the biomes. I think I only went to 2 different crash sites, which compared to the first one, I mean, is really less. I mean, the first one had what, like 6 maybe? I don't know. I don't remember the first one. It was really long time ago. Wait, I forgot one really important difference between the first and second game. The first one was just better. Oh, and the second one is below zero and all that. First one's just normal, humid, hot temperature, summer vibes. I do have to say though, although it's the same game, you still feel the threat and the hostility in the dark water. When you're swimming around and all that you can see in front of you is void. It's just so dark. It's so deep. It's too wide for your eyes to see, and you just think to yourself, "What if below me is just a hole, and inside there is just a leviathan coming to eat me?" It still provides that very scary element that is on par with the first game. However, it doesn't have leviathans. In the first game, there were compilations of YouTubers and streamers getting scared shitless by the Leviathan beside the Aurora. I don't know if I have not found them or if they just don't exist. In the first game, when you went to the Aurora, you would always be thinking, okay, do not go to that right side or you're gonna die. Although there was a Leviathan class predator in Sub-Zero, it just wasn't as intimidating as the big Leviathan in the first game. Although it is still very creepy and scary, it gets to the point where you're just sort of like, just stop chasing me around, fish. Like, I'm not scared of you anymore. Just freaking float away. Okay, you're annoying me now. I do have to say that the one thing that I do like more in this game than the first game is that I like the biomes, not biomes, yeah, technically biomes. I like the scenery of the second game a lot more. I don't even know what this is. It's like a flower thing. It's just really pretty. And the game itself looks very nice. And I'm not even playing on high settings. I'm playing on like low to mid settings. It runs pretty smooth as well. It's quite stable. No complaints from me on that part of the game. But a lot of the game time is just you running around trying to figure out what to actually do. They don't exactly give you a task list, and they don't exactly tell you how to get to certain places. You just have to figure it out yourself, which is fine, which is fun. It's a little time consuming, but obviously the most time consuming would be swimming around everywhere you go. It's like 900 meters away. You have to swim there. You get there and you're like, oh shit, I forgot to bring something. Swim back 900 meters, get something, go back. and you're like, oh shit, now I need another thing, and then you're gonna have to swim back, and then swim back, and then finally get to the next task. The other thing I want to talk about is the sounds. A lot of the sounds are imported from the first game, of course. You have different monster sounds, I think. It sounds different. It sounds more creepy in this. The monster sounds do sound creepy. And of course, you have the music, which is very good. I actually very much like the music in this. There's also a jukebox, which I think was in the first game as well. And yeah, there's jukebox, there's music that you can find and you can collect and you can play, and it actually sounds really nice. I'll play a clip right here.
Lost at sea and I'm underneath, trying to find my way back. Feel like I can't breathe.
So, Subnautica Below Zero has two storylines. You play as Robin, I believe. You have an older sister named Sam, and there's an alien, and you're all on this planet. I'm gonna be very honest here. I didn't like how they dealt with the story between Robin and Sam. I feel like they really brushed off Sam. Your main goal, which was established really early on in the game, right? Your main goal as Robin, the first line was, "Are you sure you want to do this?" or something like that. So I'm paraphrasing, of course. It was something to do with having your sister in mind and having to find out how your sister died. So then you risk your life by coming to this unknown world. Unknown world. And eventually you find out your sister died from apparent negligence, human negligence. And then later on in the story, you go to the place where she allegedly died, and you don't get to see any of how she died. You don't get to hear anything, you don't get to see anything. I just wish there was more emotion behind how she died. You know, you get all this backstory, you get all the PDF, sorry, not PDF, you get all the PDA files, conversations between Robin and Sam, but you never feel the weight of her sister's death weighing on your character. You don't get to feel how you would normally feel if someone close to you, like your sister, died. I feel like Robin was more invested in the science and the technology on this new planet than of her sister. And that's where I feel like this game really falters between the first game and this game. The first game didn't need a good story because it was the first introduction to the way that a game like this could exist, to the way a game like Subnautica could exist, going into a different planet and having to dive underwater, having to be so deep underwater that you can't see jack shit. It didn't exactly need a good story, although it did have one to back it up. This game, you don't have that extra cushion of being a new thing, because there's nothing new about this game. I'm gonna be very honest. If you played the first game, there's nothing new about this in the second game. And although I did enjoy the PDA conversations between Robin and Sam, I just don't care about it because my character clearly doesn't care about it either. All she does is care about the research. Alright, that's enough of Sam and Robin. Let's talk about Robin and the alien. I really enjoyed the conversations had between Robin and the alien. It was sort of building a really good bond and a really good relationship between the two. Something that the fucking game didn't do for Robin and Sam, but oh well. You get to see the way the alien learns about humans. There are some things that Unknown World added to the game, small little things that really added to the humanity and the reality of the situation. Like for example, when if you built a base and if you had a bed, you can sleep in it. And so when you go to sleep, the alien is like, "What happened when you were sleeping?" "I was jumping from different realities." Robin replied, "That was called dreaming." And the alien was just so interested yet confused. There are other small points like that, like how Robin talks about hope or optimism, something that an alien species would never understand because they're just so advanced. They're all about efficiency. There are so many times the alien tells Robin, "That is so inefficient." Because it's true, it is inefficient for a human to have blind optimism and blind hope. But it's the way the human species works. It's not efficient, but it's human. A quick little spoiler warning to finish my opinion on the whole Robin and alien relationship. At the end of the game, you find out that the alien has been lying to Robin the whole time. And that's where you feel, because of the relationship and bond built between the two, there was sort of a pain moment there, but it was expected. You knew the alien was lying because they slipped it into the dialogue between Robin and the alien. So you sort of knew it was coming. But when it comes, it doesn't hit as hard because you know that the alien and Robin both have good hearts. You know that they just want to do the best for their world, their species. And at the end cutscene, the last part of the game, you see what the alien finally says to Robin. And I think it's a really good ending dialogue to say.
And if they survived?
With you, I am ready to face whatever awaits.
And that's it. That's my thoughts on Subnautica Below Zero. It's not a bad game. It's really not a bad game. It's just that there was nothing special or anything that would distinguish it from the first game. I still really enjoyed it, and I would rate it a 7 out of 10. Just because of the story. I don't like what they did to Sam and Robin. I wish that part was a little bit more explored. I wish you could have took that relationship to a different level, not in that way. But yeah, this is just my opinion. If you've played the game or you've watched the game and you want to talk about it, go ahead and leave me a comment in the comments below. I would like to hear your thoughts on it. If you did enjoy, do me a favor, hit the like button, and if you do want to see more, hit the sub button. I would greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.
Like a needle going in the skin, building for pleasure, deep in the abyss, the scariest adventure. But I must persist, silence my senses, nothing else exists. I'm into this subnautic stimulus, deep underwater, swimming with the monsters. Subnautic stimulus, need these aquatics, get me to the surface. Subnautic stimulus.